This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Jackthreads. Coming up on Destructoid, apparently we have not seen the last of Guillermo Del Toro's Insane. Some new scientific research has proven that the Wii U is actually the best, and we have secured some top secret public government documents that reveal a wacky new PlayStation controller. Also, we have prizes right now on Destructoid Live.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
I'm not going to say happy Friday today, even though it is, because it's our first live show in like 2 weeks, and I'm so excited.
It's been a while. It's
I know.
great.
These always get me pumped up. I'm glad we're back.
No, it's
glad
fun,
we're
because
back.
we could totally mess up.
We can.
And so many people would see it.
And we probably will.
Yeah, a little
Yes.
bit. Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny
But
bit.
only so much that it's endearing, you know?
Just enough.
Like the Pixar outtakes. They kind of meant to do that.
Yes, so in commemoration of today's live show, we have many codes to give away to you. Some we're going to give away throughout the episode, so be sure to watch out for those later. But for now, we've got 10 codes for Writer Rumble, which is a new iOS game that came out yesterday. If you're subscribed to our Rev3 Games channel, then you might have seen a cute video that Max and I uploaded where we wore matching outfits.
10 points for Hufflepuff!
And then we faced off in a challenge of wits, and then I lost horribly because he spelled the words "shit my tits" or "shit his tits." Excuse me, my is too short a word.
Combo breaker.
Yes. So now you can relive that horrible experience for yourselves. I promise the game is actually really fun. We've got 10 codes to give away, and all you have to do to win one is tweet "I'm watching at Detroit Show" live on www.youtube.com/Detroit for a chance to win at Writer Rumble on iOS. Make sure you include those W's in there, otherwise people won't be able to click the link, and we would like them to click the link.
You will spell half the words wrong if you don't use W's in that sentence.
The only stipulation for this is that these codes are US only, so keep that in mind. I apologize if you are not in the US, but the codes that we're going to be giving away later in the show are international, so watch out for those. In the meantime, news me up, woman.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so news is a funny thing. We get it from weird places. We get it from leaks and rumors and press releases and forum posts and guys on the street.
Hey, Javier has given us some good advice.
Don't name him in public because we'll get yelled
Consuelo.
at. But some of the most interesting tidbits of information come by way of the patent office. And today, Sony revealed a patent that they filed back in like May 2011, and now it's public. And it's for a new controller, and I guess you could say it's kind of ballsy. Yeah, the controller is a hybrid of the DualShock controller design that's been around since 1997. That controller design is 15 years old, guys.
Good Lord.
And the PlayStation Move controller wand thing with the dumb neon balls on it, the thing that looks like a ambiguous sex toy. It does, come on.
Anything is a sex toy if you want it to be.
Yeah, especially if it's neon and rubbery. Anyway, according to the patent, which is available online in a lovely 28-page, very dry PDF, the thing will break apart in the middle, basically turning this normal DualShock controller into 2 Move controllers. Which I think is cool. There are a couple different mock-ups of how the controller could break apart, whether it's it just plugs in, or there's a sort of twisting lock mechanism, or it slides into place. Which is, I don't like that one as much. I think the locking or the twisting one is probably my favorite.
I like the idea of high-powered magnets.
That would be cool too. That would actually make sense, but yeah, there's no magnets in there. Anyway, the main reaction to this is obviously, you know, you see like a new design like this, and of course, the knee-jerk reaction is how everybody hates the orbs, because the orbs look so dumb, and why would I want to play a thing that has balls on it? And I mean, guys, they exist because it provides more precise one-to-one tracking on the the camera thing, but of course nobody wants them because orbs are dumb. Anyway, the thing everyone should keep in mind is this is all patent diagrams look stupid. They are all just the dumbest pictures. They are bad clip art. They are not meant to sell a product. They are not trying to make it look cool. They are calling dibs on the most basic design principles so that nobody else can steal those things or improve or innovate on them or anything like that. Anyway, some of the diagrams in the patent give an interesting idea of what this wacky thing could look like. You should go look at them yourself because they're very strange. Some of them look like weird space cigars, other ones look like space ships, and some of them just still look like sex toys. Then there are these things, which, what could those be? Well, apparently Sony knows that everybody hates the dumb orbs. So these are the different shapes that the tracker thingies could take.
This is a dildo advent calendar is what this looks like.
It pretty much is. It's like butt plug bingo. I like that. Not really. Anyway, so yeah, there's also this image of a guy using the controller, which I really like because he's basically like, "Ah, shit, my controller broke."
I love how they have like a little number pointing to his head, like Exhibit 190. This
Bald
is a human
guy.
man.
Yeah, Best Buy employee who is really bad at his job. And then look at the game he's playing. Look at it. What is this game? Like it's like a Freakazoid first-person game where you just run around like like I'm flying, but I don't know. It looks very surreal. Somebody should make that actual game. But yeah, could be a new controller. We know that the Wii U hasn't ditched the motion stuff, I guess, because it has it still. And then there's the good chance that Microsoft's next console is going to have a Kinect attached that will like look deep into your abyss of a heart and just be like, you're a bad man. And then it's pretty likely that Sony hasn't given up on the move either between this and then the fact that they very boringly reminded us during E3 with a 20-minute presentation on the Wonder Book. So, motion controls, you guys, they're here to stay. And, well, I mean, if nothing else, I like the idea of being able to rip a controller in half. Like,
yeah.
like,
Hulk
darn you, sack boy, you're incompetent. and then like, I'm sorry, sack boy.
Actually, I
didn't
need
mean
those.
That. Yeah, that costs $60. Let me fix that.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. So THQ made some news this week by introducing the humble THQ Bundle, which is kind of a weird word, kind of a misnomer in and of itself. This is something that's typically reserved for indie games, but considering the financial pickle that THQ has found themselves in, I'd say they need all the help they can get. Also, it's an unmistakably good deal. Like, you can't argue that. You can donate whatever you want. You can donate a cent if you want, though you'd be a horrible person. And whatever you donate, you can split it up however you like between either THQ charity or the guys who run Humble Bundle. And there's tons of games in here. They've got, unfortunately, they are all Windows only, which is the bad thing, but they've got Steam codes for the original Darksiders, Metro 2033, Red Faction Armageddon, Company of Heroes Opposing Fronts, Company of Heroes Tales of Valor, and if you donate over the current average, which is $5.69 as of this morning, you also get a code for Saints Row 3, which is like $40 on Steam right now. So yeah, this is an awesome deal, and you'd be dumb to miss out on it unless you already have the game.
There's really no excuse for anybody to not have Saints Row the 3rd.
Yeah, there really isn't. And apparently a lot of people agree, since they've already raked in over $2.5 million on this bundle so far. They sold almost 500,000 of them in the first 20 hours. And look, Jason Rubin, CEO of THQ, has made the highest donation so far with $1,050. Apparently all of it went to charity.
You know, I think THQ might be the real Company of Heroes.
Hey, what if this was just an elaborate scandal and they set up a bunch of fake accounts and donated all the money back to themselves? I doubt that's happened, but still, pretty cool to think about. While we're talking about THQ, you might remember that famous Hollywood screenwriter Guillermo Del Toro was actually working with THQ on a horror game called Insane, which got debuted at the Spike VGAs a couple years ago. This was the teaser trailer that they showed, which gave absolutely no idea about what the game was, other than the fact that there's apparently an eyeball in it that's really creepy, and apparently it was supposed to be a trilogy. I was really excited about the prospect of this because I'm a big fan of his movies, until this August, when THQ announced that they had canceled the project due to financial difficulties, and then they returned all of the rights back to Guillermo Del Toro. Well, great news. Apparently he has been shopping the game around, and it has been picked up by the very first publisher who saw it. We don't actually know who that publisher is yet, but we do know that it's being developed for next-gen consoles, and it won't be out until 2015 at the earliest. What's funny is I remember seeing that trailer in 2010, and at the end of that trailer they say coming 2013, and I remember thinking, God, that's so far away. And now it's like a month away, and we still have to wait 2 more years. So, damn it.
Tear it in front of the horse.
Here's a question though: Who would you like to see developing this game? Like, what developer? What would be your dream Insane developer? Let us know in the chat, and the 2 best answers will win a code for THQ's Humble Bundle, generously provided by Detoid viewer Tony G, who's given us some Humble Bundle codes before.
Good. We actually got some feedback from the chat actually about the Orb controller with the balls on it. Stuart Newsom said the controller looks like it has Tesla coils on top of it. Count me in. I know Tesla had a bad thing with the patent, so I don't think they'd patent anything with Tesla things in it. And then Joshua Mastagor said, "You have just insulted the Orb people." All right, fair enough.
All right.
Now, okay, so back to Guillermo Del Toro. I like that he's investing in a game, and he's like actually
he's a huge gamer apparently.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exciting, and I want to see what a really good filmmaker can bring to the games. Something I'm less excited about, though, would be the opposite situation, which is when they take video games and then make them into movies. Oh look, Kratos is going to Hollywood. Yeah, regardless, it is a thing that continues to take place, and there are like a dozen or so major game properties that have headed out to Hollywood to make it big in the pictures and become a star. One of these properties is God of War, and the God of War movie is being written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, whose most notable contributions to cinema have been Piranha 3 Double D, and then the last 4 Saw movies.
Oh, the last 4?
The last 4 of them.
Oh.
These 2 wordsmiths recently spoke to Shock Till You Drop, I don't know what that is either, about what they are aiming to do with Kratos' big screen debut, and the creative freedom that they're getting from Sony, which seems sort of odd considering that game studios are usually kind of hands-on. Melton remarked, "You think they'd be sacred about it, the origin story and all of that, but they were encouraging us to make it different from those movies, and if that means going in dramatic shifts, they were cool with all of it, and they're involved." So I guess that's kind of odd. Those movies he's referring to are what the recent kind of mythological action flicks like Clash of the Titans and Immortals and I guess 300. And Dunstan sort of noted those as kind of inspirations, not as like specific examples to follow, but as films that show how to step in more of a bold direction, adding that the satisfying element is to look at those movies as a commentary on the genre and now say something different. Really? I'm pretty sure people watch those movies because a bunch of shirtless guys are stabbing each other, but that's just me, I don't know. Now, I gotta say, I feel like you give Hollywood too much freedom with a nerd property and you will get just some disasters happening. We've seen this in the past, and I could see it actually working out with God of War, surprisingly enough. Obviously, they're gonna be, any changes that get made are gonna piss off some of the hardcore fans, but I'm sure that was something that probably pissed off some Greek mythology buffs when they first saw God of War, because that didn't really go with the whole historical accuracy or anything. If nothing else, God of War is just kind of an archetypal enough premise that there's kind of some wiggle room there for creative reinterpretation. And of course, hey, it's also being written by the guys who made Saw 2 through 6. So it could just be a revolting pile of idiotic porn where just the guys are stabbing each other with blood, and then there's guts shooting out, and then some guy's head falls off and it impales another guy with the... Anyway, what do you guys think? God of War, the movie, is that a thing? What do you think? I don't know.
I've always thought God of War was exactly like a movie, so this only makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's like a movie where you don't have to press the buttons to rip off the guy's head. So speaking of God of War, the video game that the film is based on, the multiplayer beta for Ascension is now open on the internet, if you're into that. There's actually a post about that over on Destructoid.com. They've got you'd think that going to godofwar.com would maybe just take you to a big link, but it's kind of buried, so just go to Destructoid and click on the link.
Video game websites are the worst. Can I just say that?
I hate websites in general. The internet sucks. You've got until December 7th to join up. As for movies, this week's Casual Friday, we talked about movies and video games and whether they can work or not, and if they ever have worked, and has there been a good video game movie, and the answer is yes, and it's called Mortal Kombat. So go watch that over on Rev3 Games.
Yes. Lots of good videos this week, actually. Yeah. So Destructoid's resident journalist/guy everybody loves to hate, Jim Sterling, wrote an interesting editorial piece today on Destructoid.com about why the Wii U is his preferred console experience for Black Ops 2. Now, before you scroll down to the comments and leave your comments that say something like, "Oh, Jim Sterling is a fat troll, LOL," hear me out, you guys, because whether or not you agree with him, he actually makes some pretty good points. First off, the gamepad. Black Ops 2 does utilize the gamepad in some ways, namely for maps, mission details, and setting adjustments. For example, you can actually adjust the aim sensitivity right there from the gamepad at all times. And that's really it. There's no, gimmicky mini-game things or gyroscopic aiming, which I admit does work in some games, but I don't see it working for Black Ops 2. And he says that the gamepad actually feels really comfortable in your hands. And apparently being able to adjust the sensitivity and settings apparently give you a really accurate precision, like more so than any other game. And also there's dual screen mode, so you can play entirely on your gamepad with the television, doing something else. Apparently this has very few visual compromises. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. There is some slight color drain, I think. What's cool about that, though, is that you can play local co-op without having to do shitty split screen. by having one person use the Pro Controller on the television and the other person playing on the gamepad. And personally, I'd much rather play Black Ops 2 on a gamepad than split screen, because I freaking hate split screen.
I like the idea, but it sucks.
It's the worst. Now, obviously, online communities are a big thing when it comes to games like this. Obviously, the Wii U's may not be as thriving as the Xbox or PS3 online communities, but that can actually be a blessing in disguise, especially if you're not one of those people who sits there and plays COD for 12 hours a day, which is definitely, you know, it's not me. I don't play COD for 12 hours a day.
Really?
No, you'd think at it. You'd think it by looking at me, but no.
Girls.
As far as technical stuff goes, he says that the matchmaking is pretty fast, connection stability is roughly on par with the Xbox version, and the frame rate issues that some people have been reporting seem to only be a problem when you're playing co-op, like with one person on the TV and one person on the gamepad. So concerning the visuals, Jim said that it's definitely not better than the Xbox version, as Regie Filem has claimed, but it's also not much worse. The only real difference, Jim says, are the removal of dynamic shadows and a slight roughness to the edges of some far-off NPCs. So those are the bulk of his thoughts. Obviously, he's included a lot more information and opinion over in his full article, which you can find on Destructoid.com. And remember, guys, this is by no means an official assertion that the Wii U version is better. It's simply one man's experience. So if you don't have an Xbox, or you hate the Xbox online community, or you're inexperienced at shooters and you want to start getting better at them, the Wii U might be a good place for you to start. I recommend reading his article because it's definitely enlightened me, and like a lot of other people, I kind of assumed that Black Ops 2 would be utter shite on the Wii U, but apparently it's not.
No, what do you know? Jim also wrote an article on there that was the Wii U is blatantly better than the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 combined.
Yes, so. And before you rage about that, it was a sarcastic article.
Satire.
Yes.
It's Satire Day. It comes after Friday. Anyway.
Yeah. So why don't we thank our sponsor, and then we have more news to talk about when we get back.
Sounds good.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess that none of you live in a giant money pit on top of a mansion shaped like your own face. And that exact reason alone is why you should be shopping at Jack Threads. Jack Threads is an online shopping club that has tons of good-looking, quality apparel at crazy cheap prices. They've got everything you could want, from button-up shirts to skater shoes to fall and winter jackets. I especially like this stylish crew jacket, which is it's kind of hard to tell from the picture, but it's actually got a nice subtle tweed pattern to it. And it's 45% off retail, so man, that's cheap. There is tons of stuff just like that and more, all marked at up to 80% off every day. It's even a great place to do your holiday shopping, since they've got a whole accessory section that's packed full of cool gifts. Typically, there is a waitlist to join, but if you head over to jackthreads.com/destruct, you can skip the waitlist and get instant access right now. Again, that is jackthreads.com/destruct for all your clothing and holiday gift shopping needs. All right, back to the show. So we've known for a while now that Nintendo Power, they're going to be closing their doors at the end of 2012 after an almost 25-year publishing stint, but knowing that does not make it any less difficult for us. The last issue won't hit newsstands until December 11th, but this picture has been making the rounds today, which shows Nintendo Power's nostalgic homage to their very first issue all the way back from July 1988. God, that was a long time ago. Back then, the hot new game on the market for kids was Super Mario Bros. 2, and now it's New Super Mario Bros. U, which is a wonderful, happy coincidence to mark one of the gaming industry's most utterly depressing events this year. The magazine's last issue is going to feature a 20-page Wii U review spectacular, along with a definitive greatest games of all time list. I wonder how many of those will be Nintendo. And a look back at the past 25 years of Nintendo Power. Personally, I can't really think of a more fitting way to commemorate their final issue, and since I love drinking and I love pouring drinks, we will now pour one out for our fallen homies.
That's like a drink you already finished. Really?
Wait. There we go. Ooh,
you were like complaining about the weird, it's hot cider, and you were complaining about this cinnamon dreg stuff in the bottom.
This one's for you, Nintendo Power.
Oh, that's a
May
fine
you always have a, ooh, why is it so phlegmy? May
okay.
you always have a reason to love Nintendo, long after the rest of us have given up.
I'm not gonna lie, like seeing that final cover made me a little bit sad. Like I grew up playing, reading Nintendo Power. We were like, my friend had like the whole subscription. I just like sit there and go through it and look at all this stupid envelope art, and like, you know, we had to get cheat codes from there. We didn't know how to play games. We didn't have the internet, like you little shits. Yeah. We didn't have videos to watch. We just had good old Nintendo. Anyway, that sucks. But,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
very disappointing.
Yeah.
But such is the cycle of life, Max.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever told you about the circle of life.
I don't know. You showed me those diagrams with the you could see inside the woman, and there's like weird balloons, and I don't want that. Ew, gross. So we got a few comments. Let's see. Yeah, the Cloud Strife says you shall be missed, Nintendo Power. Josh Rector says, sigh, I actually got that first issue in the mail when I was 8. You're a grown-ass man.
Yeah, you are.
You are an old man.
Get out of here. You're too old to be watching this.
Go get like an Atari like cocktail cabinet. Go like get like a really classy Miss Pac-Man in your living room. What are you doing watching YouTube videos? You're not 14.
Let's see. Regarding Wii U COD Blocks 2, Kevin Casey7 said, looks better than playing with a nunchuck controller. Well, yeah, duh.
You can play with a nunchuck controller though if you want. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
We have
DualShock. Oh wait, you already did DualShock.
Yeah, I talked about those. We have some contest winners.
Somebody said Insane looks like Slender the game. How? Just because they're both scary? Yes. I don't know. Oh, so I chose some contest winners. I'm going to announce them.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I put asterisks by them.
Oh, okay, fine. Tara's going to announce the
So, all right, this was for the question where I asked, who would you like to see developing Insane with Guillermo Del Toro? Somebody said MKDHDH01. You had to choose a difficult username, didn't you? He said, the guys that make Amnesia, they know how to make a good horror game. That's Frictional Games, who made Amnesia and Penumbra, both excellent choices, and also well within the tone of this game. Not that we know much about it.
I feel like that might be too scary. You know?
That could be too scary.
Like, I feel like Guillermo Del Toro is probably like, I mean, he's his first foray into gaming. I feel like he maybe wants to try and not forgo for quite a terror crazy audience, you know, and at the same time also if they're doing for next gen. But I guess that guy wins something.
His stuff is so creepy. I imagine everything is pretty much open right now. And Luman84 said Insane should be developed by the people who developed Sadness for the Wii. I can't remember their names right now, but that is an excellent choice because I can also see the kind of black and white aesthetic working with Insane as well. Those are the two winners, Luman84 and MKDHD01. We will message you guys through YouTube. Lots of good suggestions in here. Somebody said Visceral, who make Dead Space.
I think my favorite was
that would be weird.
Who's my favorite? My favorite was Stuart Newsom said, Insane should be made by Double Fine. The game is a front to a serious reimagining of Day of the Tentacle. I'd be all over that. There are actually some tentacles in the Insane trailer
there are.
if you squint really hard and it doesn't just look like you're watching a 9 Inch Nails video on a broken TV.
So as for the Writer Rumble,
yeah, we got a pile of people who won. If this was on Twitter, this is for Writer Rumble, Writer Fighter Battle Rumble Royale. Thank you, Nick, for completely writing the most confusing game. Anyway, we got the Jorge Sanchez, Asian X Chunky.
Give that man 2 codes.
Tamago Yorokobi, Kaza NG, the Alex, Memku, Connor 3000, Fusion Catalyst, Josh Rector, and MC Edler, Mick Edler, I don't know.
Edler.
So those you are the winners of these, and we will DM you from the Detoid Show Twitter account to your Twitter account.
So make sure you're following us so we can DM you.
Yeah, and you've got to close your eyes when you wish, otherwise the fairies will all die or something.
So I thought this was a pretty good live show.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I did too. I had a good time.
Yeah.
It was fun. That's what matters.
Let's wrap it up now.
Yeah, let's do
I'm
that.
Sick of it.
This is the live show is over, but you can go follow us on Twitter. I'm Max Scoville. She's Tara Longest, and together we are Detoid Show. We love you very much. Thank you for tuning in and watching us goof around on here. We have a great time doing it, and if you guys got a chance to catch us live, well, thank you very much, and we will see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend.
And take it easy.
Don't kill nobody.
Or else.
I got killed again, because it's Call of Duty.